Okay, so all right, moving forward for the next week, we've got a lot of things that we need to take care of. I've got a lot of projects coming up for me also. I'm starting to do filming for the finest women in real estate. And because of my association with the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, they are having their leadership awards on March 19th, and I'm bringing the women in the hotel, which is the Town and Country Resort Hotel, and we're going to start filming the TV reality show. How about that?
Wow, that's
So,
pretty cool.
and I'm also planning to do an event for the Real Men of Real Estate. We have one location here in Rancho Bernardo. It's a golf course. And I'm planning to invite all the real men of real estate to be at this event. It's going to be a big networking event. And we're going to do group photo shoots and, tons of networking. And we're going to do a presentation also for the project that I wanted to do for the group. So that's going to be very exciting. And you'll meet a lot of great people there too.
When is that supposed to happen?
Well, we're trying to get we're trying to solidify the location right now, and
okay.
once I do that, I will give enough time to get everybody informed and booked for this, and that's how we're gonna do it. It looks like we have Kathy coming in right now.
And Marie, did you want to put my name in front of the company name, please?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is that fine? It's just that
Of course.
I can't do it here.
Let's do that. All right, there you go. Hello, Kathy. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Is it Kathy or Katie? How do you pronounce?
It's Kathy, but I like Katie.
Hi, Kathy.
Welcome to Fire Connect. And what city are you coming from, Katie?
I'm in Hamilton Township in New Jersey. It's just north of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and near Trenton.
Okay,
New Jersey.
that's awesome. All right, so just kind of let you know, we have Ralph here. Ralph, you want to share your city where you're from right now?
Yeah, I'm from Richards, California. It's in the high desert. Nobody really hears about it when we say we're from California, so it's a small town.
And Paul, what about you?
I'm right now I'm at the office in Rio Rancho, but I also do business in San Francisco, Rio Rancho, New Mexico, I should say.
Okay, and Martha?
I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome to the Fire Up Connect, Kathy. And it's amazing that you made it, because I had a lot of registration and I'm like wondering what happened to everybody. It's like, okay, but we're gonna have so much fun here. This is a fun networking group that we have. We always have fun, especially it's Friday. You're looking forward to a lot of things this weekend. So
Like sleep.
Yes.
Yes, I hear you on that one.
Yeah. So here's what we do here, Kathy. We have 1 hour meeting, and we have different things that we accomplish. We want to accomplish. We have 6 goals here. The first thing is we wanted to, the word fire up. Those are our goals. The first letter F, it means fundamentals, and it's about really understanding the fundamentals of your products and services. That's why the first part of our meeting is a Q&A. And we want to make sure we understand. The second part is introduction. We want to have an effective introduction. We don't want any kind of solicitation. That's why the Q&A really works out for us, because it's more about what people want to learn from you. The third goal is about relationship. I know that we are all strangers right now, but part of what we wanted to do is to spark that business relationship in this meeting. So that's our third goal. Our fourth goal is what we call expertise. This is sometimes we have a speaker that would present for 7 minutes, and sometimes we would have a discussion, which that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a discussion on a specific topic. The fifth goal is about understanding. We want to make sure that we understand your business or your style of communication or your involvement with your communities. It's really trying to get to know you, because for us, if we can refer business, we need to know the people that we're referring people to. That's part of what we want to accomplish. And lastly, if you are a member of this organization, we wanted to do project collaboration. So that's, those are our 6 goals. Is that all right with you, Kathy?
That's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
perfect. Okay, so since I'm the host, I get to ask the first question, and then you have about a couple of minutes to answer the question, and then after that, you pick someone else to ask the question. So I'm going to ask you a question, Kathy, since this is your first time. What type of business do you do, and why do you love this business that you have? And I'm going to go ahead, and we are recorded, by the way. This recording
Okay.
is in our membership site, so the members that are not able to make it, that they can watch it and listen to what you're saying too. Okay.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm an escape from corporate America. I worked for the pharmaceutical companies for a good 20 some odd years. Started out in medical laboratory. I'm from New York originally, so I worked in most of the large hospitals there. And then after I got my master's, I transferred into the pharmaceutical industry and medical device industry. I just found that I really liked being more with the people and really helping them out, being more hands-on. And so my escape happened about 10 years ago when I decided to go into the laundry business. And people say, oh my God, that's such a big change, such difference. But it's about the technology and the new machines now. And I decided I was just going to go with the best I knew in the industry. And so I have, we're an Electrolux showcase store, and we have machines that can text customers when the wash is done. And that was extremely important during the pandemic because the customers could tell how many machines were busy from their phone. And they can also retreat to the safety of their car, to keep the 6 feet and all that away. I love this business because I found a home here after, so many years, in a cube or a nice office, and I know that when I go home, whatever effort I put into, I'm retaining. I'm building equity in the business. I'm just starting to franchise now, so I'm feeling like an almost rock star.
What?
And so it's really exciting. And then part-time I teach business courses at the community college, and try to impart knowledge to other people that want to start
You're
their
full
own.
of talents, Kathy. Wow, that's awesome. All right,
Thank
Kathy, now it's your turn to ask any one of them. I'll be the last one to be picked by someone. Okay.
Mhm. Well, I'd like to get to know the group a little bit better. So I guess the general question would be to learn something about their businesses as
Yeah,
well.
you get to pick one person in the group. So whoever.
Okay, so I'm gonna go forward. Where the person in the middle of me is Ralph. So I'll ask Ralph about his business.
Question for Ralph.
Yes. My question for Ralph is, what's your strategy for this year in terms of drawing new customers to your business, considering that we're still in the midst of this pandemic?
So mine's pretty easy. I write resumes. So pretty much everything's online. I'll just spread the word, get it out there. Advertise my successes more, I guess. I don't have that outgoing personality where I want to brag about my successes. I just let people talk about it, and then they'll refer them to me. So, but yeah, I think I need to work more on just advertising it more out there, putting it out there, and social media.
Right. Oh, yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you. Do you use the Facebook or Instagram or any?
I have a website. I have a Facebook business page. And then of course a lot of my customers come from word of mouth.
Okay, yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. Well,
Really
thank
good.
you, Ralph.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ralph, who is your next person?
I guess we'll go with Martha. How do you deal with your business? Because I'm going to school too, and I work full-time job, and then I'm coaching 2 teams.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I feel you.
How do you balance your time with your family and all your other responsibilities?
Oh,
I smile a lot, okay? I'm very goofy, and I think sometimes I'm too goofy. And I feel like if you smile, all these negative thoughts and the overwhelming, I try also not to think of what I'm doing. I just do what I have to do. And I don't complain to people, because if I complain to them, I used to do this before. I realize the more I say, oh, I have this to do, and it takes me so long, that's negative information, and it just makes the weight be more heavy. And I don't know, when you carry something and don't think about it, you kind of lift it. It's the same idea. Just don't think about it, do it, be positive, and just smile.
Oh, I love
Spoken
that.
like a
It's all
true
about,
mother.
yeah, staying in the moment. I have problems doing that. I'm planning every minute of my life.
That was awesome, Martha. I loved
Yeah.
it. I love that. Okay, Martha, you have Paul.
Oh, I know you were having success. Tell me what's going on right now.
Well, I just must say to you, Martha, that spoken like a true mother, I think just women in general, and no pun intended, Ralph, women are just made to do so much. Gosh, it's just, you ladies are awesome. Anyway, and you smile about this. This is great. So my success, I think my success has a lot to do with the beautiful women in my life. My mom was one of them. And, in fact, I got up early this morning, and I'm a man of routine. I work out and that's my time. I'm a religious man, so that's my time that I spend with my God. And then I listen to the international news. But first person I thought of today was my mom, even though my dad was a great guy in himself. But I think, mothers do so much for their children. And probably one of the reasons why I'm saying this is because you see what's the disaster that's happening in Ukraine. And I've been there, and I have friends there that I'm communicating with. And it's just a tragedy to see women and children. But God's kingdom will take care of that. Now, as far as my business, I think keeping that balance between, my business and really who I answer to. Of course, I have my clients and people that I deal with, and huge responsibilities, but really the one that gives me that source of energy and patience and is the Almighty, for sure. So that's where I leave my success to, anyway. And as far as Ralph, when you said, I could tell you're a modest man, but when I was younger, I remember a friend of mine said, Paul, you got to, being humble is one thing, but if you have a service, you have to let people know. Have you ever tried reading your own resume? I mean, it might be that you might be able to express who you are. It's just reading your resume, and people might not think that you're so, full of yourself, but I don't know. But I think modesty is awesome. Keep that up.
Yes.
Awesome. I love this. You guys. Okay, Paul, you get to ask me a question.
Okay. Okay. What am I going to ask Marie?
It's always tough to come back to the same
Yes.
person over and over again, because that's how you really have to start really thinking harder in terms of what you need to ask.
Well, Marie, I want to know you're so connected with so many people. There must have been something when you were a young little girl that you might have seen in your family, or because in fact, tomorrow I'm going to be part of a Tagalog group that I'm helping out here in my part of the neck of the woods, and I have friends that are Filipinos. But what is it about you in particular that makes you you? You're so, you smile a lot, yeah, and you love people. What?
Well,
Tell us.
here's what it is. My father was one of the known actors in the Philippines. So because my grandfather was the founder of karate, and then my uncle, my dad made hundreds of karate movies in the Philippines. So I grew up having a lot of people around us. And then my mom is a social butterfly. So she's the one that went to my brother's school, became the president of that school, and rebuilt that school because the school was like a one-story. And so she went to the city, to the mayor, to get funding to build this 3 stories for the school of my brother. And that's how I saw how if you are, I mean, my mom did not have a college degree, which is one thing that, she wanted to have, but she never did because she was working, and she was a cosmetologist working for Shiseido, and she went to Japan for 2 years because the company sent her to Japan to master cosmetology. So when she came back, I mean, she just has, everything that she that she wanted to do for the for us. She, by the way, she's also the first female black belter in the Philippines. So
Wow.
Good.
why, you have this
Holy smokes.
legacy from my family that I felt like, okay, they're able to fulfill, what they wanted to do, like especially my grandfather bringing the karate from Japan and started that in the Philippines. I'm thinking, we have the power to create things. We have the power to connect with people, and we have the power to create amazing projects. And that's how I am so energized by this whole thing that we're doing. Fire Up Connect is something that it just evolved, but and some people said, Marie, it doesn't work. It won't work. I never give up on anything, but look at this.
Good.
If
for you.
if I gave up on this, I wouldn't have not met all of you, and we would have not had this amazing meeting and learning from each other, making ourselves better and better. And Martha, I love your concept of just, just smiling. And
That was awesome.
it helps all of us, moving forward to the next week. So I know I'm talking too much, but that's
No, it's interesting.
So are you part Japanese?
what's that?
Are you part Japanese?
My grandfather is a Filipino.
Oh, okay.
Went to Japan to learn karate, and he took that concept to the
Mhm.
Philippines and started the karate in the Philippines.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh.
I've been to
Mhm.
Japan, but I want to go to the Philippines.
Yeah, he's known to be the father of karate. If you look for it, Latino Gonzalez is his name.
I
Yeah.
will. Wow.
You look for Rolando and Roberto Gonzalez, you'll see all the movies that they have made. And I've watched them while I was growing up, where, my uncle was in this movie where, he was doing his flying, kicking, and all of that. But he's fighting with 100 people, and he's survived. I don't know how he did that.
So, what's Bruce Lee have, right? You're like focused on your on your father and your grandfather, right? You're like, oh, Bruce Lee, nah, look.
And, I think because of my exposure with karate, my dad put me in front of a lot of people where he was training hundreds of military people in the Philippines. And I'm the one performing karate in front of all of these people. So imagine the confidence that's my dad has been giving me of all
Mhm.
those years. And I'm able to really feel that I can do anything. That's why I am
Wow.
doing whatever I wanted to do.
Yes, yes.
That is awesome. Good for you, Marie. I knew there was something special.
Yeah, so that's the first part of our meeting. That is exciting. I love the conversation. All right, the next part of our meeting is what we call the expert section. This is where I wanted to talk about the topic of integrity, because this morning I had a conversation with one of my connections, and she was asking me about this lady and how I felt about it, and I shared my experience with her because of how she communicated with me and how she handled the situation. I felt like her integrity is questionable. So let's talk about integrity. Okay, who would like to start with the word integrity?
I'm sorry, Marie, did you say her integrity was evil?
No, what's questionable?
Oh, questionable. Okay. I got other people in this world in mind, but never mind.
Not evil, but it is questionable because of how
Yeah.
she handled the situation.
Mhm.
Okay, so who would like to talk about integrity? Okay, go for it.
So what I was taught about integrity, having a military background, was always doing the right thing, even when no one's looking. Right. So with my clients, I'll tell them straight up, if if I can't do it, sometimes they expect me to do their resumes in 24 hours. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. I got too many things to do. Or I'll be like, I'll just be honest with them. And then sometimes they come back months later and they're like, hey, can I have your services? So to me, having integrity, being honest with your clients, it really helps your more customers coming in, because they're gonna be like, yeah, this guy's really honest about what he does, and
Mhm.
he's not gonna just get you just to get that money. So
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Rolf. Okay. All right, who's next?
Well, I'll just jump in there. I think it's really important, to just kind of piggyback what Ralph said is really to be honest and transparent. I've done some sales work, and if you're just honest with the customer and transparent and just say that this is what it costs me. This is the wholesale price of it, so I'm not getting, that much of an upgrade, in terms of markup for you, and that they can trust you, and you do share with them things that you may not, share with the general public. I think that it goes a long way to building that rapport and relationship that will close a sale.
Yeah. Happy. All right. Who's next? Martha, you want to go in?
A hard one. Every time you kind of give me a surprise here. I think integrity is doing the right thing when people are not watching you. Something very simple is, let's say, I was in school and this old lady had a wheelchair, and she couldn't maneuver through the sofas and seats. And it's easy because I was in a rush to class. I could have just ignored her because I was getting late to class. And I'm like, no, I helped her. I'm like, let me open the door for you. It cost me probably 2 minutes or whatever it was, even seconds. But I think it's doing the right thing even when other people are not watching, even if it means like interfering with your success. Because in this case, success was being on time. It was okay. For me, I know one day my mom or my parents will need help. I have to keep those values in mind. Doing things.
Where I think it froze, Martha. There you go.
Oh, I'm just saying, walk what you talk.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Martha. Okay, Paul, your turn.
Well, I think, everyone basically said it, being honest, strong moral principles, moral soundness, completeness, and one's being. We all know pretty much what integrity is, but if we really look around the world, we start questioning people. When this word comes up, it reminds me of a couple of, business college professors. I remember that was a bone of contention where, I don't know if you guys, when the economy does what it does, right? One of the problems that we see with when the economy starts to head south, you start to question business people in higher levels. What happened? What are they doing? One in particular with the subprime fiasco, where there were government officials that were implementing these and letting these things go. And then the consequence of that were a lot of people lost their homes. And to boot, the federal government gave money to the banks because they were crying. But yet, when you look at it through time, those banks didn't give the money to the people that needed it. So you start questioning, well, wait a minute. So if I'm a business person and I'm going to go study business, but yet I'm seeing that they really stand behind integrity, but yet these CEOs and government officials aren't even practicing what these institutes are supposed to be preaching, you start to question it. So when I said that thing, moral soundness, completeness, one's being blameless. So my integrity, the only one that I have to answer to, my creator and myself, right? No one else. Just because I'm in an industry that I'm seeing people cheating people doesn't mean that I have to be part of that. And that's why I think that it takes me longer to do things, but I just, you want things to work out right, and not just to, make money on people's, backs. I don't know. Anyway, that's the way I see it. Well, I woke up feeling a little bit like I have to give the world a piece of my mind. I don't know. But anyway.
Okay, well, I love this topic because it's something that I know that you have to have a good foundation in order to keep up with it, in trying to work with your goals for, keeping your integrity on different part of your business, but at the same time also keeping that relationship with people and having, the respect for that. So integrity sometimes could be a battle if, let's say, I have an integrity for keeping time on track. But if it's going to cost people's relationship, you also have to balance that out to where, what is the level of integrity there. So part of it is adjusting and really learning from people. And that's why I think, having this kind of meetings, you learn from other people's perspective, and you're able to incorporate that as part of your process to where your integrity is not going to get ruined or destroyed because of the, trying to balance it according to what you're dealing with in a situation. So like, kind of like what I mentioned about this lady, she was, I was surprised because she said things that are not true. And I saw the evidences. And so part of me is like, I don't want to be associated to someone that would do something like that, because, that would, right away, it gives me a perception of who this person is. And I have to really choose the people that I want to work with, because, what if I bring her into my circle and then she does that to one of my connections? I don't think that's going to hurt me. Integrity will affect my reputation and my name and my branding. And so we need to be very careful who we associate with, really get to know people. And again, I'm not saying everybody has to be perfect. There should be some allowance for mistakes. And but if it's intentional and versus having a mistake, those are two different things. So that's why I think integrity is a very important part of our business, and we need to really concentrate on how we balance that in our life, and in really looking at the people around us and making sure that they have good integrity that can bring in value to our connections. Okay. All right, so let's take 30 seconds and just put your comments on chat, what you think about what you heard on this topic, and kind of give us some more of your thoughts, comments. It's, sometimes it's good in writing it versus saying it. So you're welcome to do that in 30 seconds. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that is very true. Awesome. Thank you, Ralph. That is also good. Everyone's. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Wow. Well, wow. This is a blessing. I mean, I tell you, every meeting I look forward to all of these things. Thank you so much for your blessings. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of our meeting, which is what we call business share time. This is where you get to share one of the three things or a combination, and here's a minute or so. And it's about share, if you want to share a success story that can give us some ideas of your accomplishments, or a specific challenge that you're dealing with in the business, and you wanted to just share it with people so maybe they can give you some recommendation or suggestions or ideas, or a specific goal make sure that you give us a time frame of that goal that you wanted to accomplish, so we understand how it would work for you too. So who would like to start this part of our meeting? All right, Paul, go ahead.
Well, my success this week was, along with those city properties, what I did is I'm marketing to the private owners of that main boulevard that heads into the Civic Center Plaza. So there's probably about, I'd say another, oh goodness, maybe about a good 32 commercial lots as well
Wow.
on that, right? So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start on a smaller project, an acre and a half, because the city owns probably, I'd say another probably 60 acres. But on an acre and a half, what we're going to do is we're working right now to get a conceptual design on what we're thinking would be the major part of the Civic Center Plaza. Well, with that said, one of the owners, I was on a call yesterday to Italy. One of the owners called me and I had to get the call. And so they're wanting to work with us. So I'm going to draft up an option for them. And which, by the way, you know, with real estate, there's so many ways that you could make deals work,
Yeah.
being honest. And so I try to keep everyone in mind in a deal. And so I personally feel like options are the best way to go about this. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is drafting up an option for them. And then that we could go ahead and start. And also the mayor of this city was reelected just yesterday. So that's why I've been waiting a little bit, because he's pro-growth and him and I talked. And so now we're all systems go with this now. So that's one of the success stories here.
That's awesome, Paul. I do
Thank you.
wanted to expand the discussion on that later after the meeting, because I have some thoughts about it.
Okay,
Okay,
great. Thank you.
Well, I'll go next.
Okay.
I think one of my successes, it may not seem like a big deal, but I actually hired 3 people and they've been here for, you know, at least a couple of days. No,
Big
you know,
deal.
it's really a very difficult job market, and the attendants are on the, you know, almost bottom rung, you know, along with restaurants, waiters, and grocery stores, and Amazon, which is maybe like 5 or 6 miles from here. They have a huge distribution center with almost walking distance, and so it's just these organizations are kind of sucking the air out of the room. And over the course of the past few years, there's been a, you know, good level of benefits out there in the market, so people are not looking for a part-time job. You know, they're doing okay with, you know, what they're getting either from the job or through the government. And it is just seems to be easing up a little bit now. Either maybe people are running out of money, but I've actually been able to hire a couple of people, and they're working out pretty well, which is why I'm still on this call. You know, because, you know, they're out there, and it's such a relief that I can really now extract myself at least the, you know, part of the day to do owner stuff. And do the strategy and work on the marketing and stuff like that, because I'm in the weeds so much. So that to me is, you know, it may seem like a little thing, but it's a big success for me in terms of expanding the business and doing well again.
That's awesome. All
Good for
right. Thank
Kathy.
you.
Wow, it's awesome.
Ralph or Martha, who wants to go first?
There you go.
Okay, Martha, go for it.
So Kathy, so you know, I'm branching out of actually last week's thing. So one issue that I was dealing with is, how do I talk about my business? Because it's very hard. And some people give me feedback, and today I'm going to do the follow-up with that and see what people think. So in introducing my business, this is what I thought. It's just like my elevator pitch. Think about your business as a rocket, We are the mathematicians, the engineers and scientists behind the scenes that get your rocket to launch up into galaxy and land to your destination. So I think that's how I would start my pitch.
I like
Right
it.
on, Martha.
I like it.
Don't ever stop being you, Martha. You are.
Yes. It sounds very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of putting this phrase on a picture that me and my partner Miriam on it, like standing two women with our suits and everything, with the phrase right in the middle. And I think people are gonna start emailing me and say, "What are you talking about? I want my rocket to launch."
You know what? Your timing is impeccable, Martha, because
Yes, I
with
know.
Jeff Bezos and all the rest, you know, with Elon Musk and Richard Branson with their rockets,
Mhm.
you are awesome, Martha. Wow.
Yes, yes.
That is so cool, Martha. You're an amazing person. Okay, Ralph. Now you're gonna have to beat that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough one. You know, for those of you that been with me, you know, my successes are simple, but one, like the integrity thing, he actually came back to me 1 month later and said, "Hell, I'll pay you." He straight up just paid me to do his resume. Said, "Just get it done." And then I did my wife's resume, and she already had a couple of interviews with the VA hospitals. And
Oh, let me put her on mute. Hold on. There you go. Go ahead.
yeah, so I did my wife's resume. Of course, I didn't charge her because, you know. But yeah, pretty much the interviews are pretty much just formalities. So I believe she might get an offer from the San Diego VA hospital and the Fresno hospital, VA hospital. So those are some of my successes. And then one more is I'm on a project called IACT. I forgot what it stands for, but it helps veterans adjust to civilian life. And the person asked me to do the resume part because they don't understand how important it is to have a resume. You know, a lot of people think, "Oh, I'm a veteran, I'll get a job anywhere," but that's not the case. So he wanted me to teach that side of things about, you know, just the personal side of things of how I struggled. You know, even being a certain rank, you're still going to struggle. And I got to teach these to lieutenant colonels or higher ranking officials and let them know, hey, everybody's going to struggle. I mean, someone might get lucky, but everybody's going to struggle with these things. So those are my successes.
Wow, thank
Good
you
for
so
you.
much,
Wow.
Ralph.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. All right. Last part of our meeting is to find some opportunities and ideas that you have heard from, you know, everyone. So Kathy, since this is your first time meeting with us, what did you think about our meeting? And did you find any kind of opportunities that you can collaborate with any of these people? You want to unmute yourself? Okay. There you go.
I don't know that I actually know what everyone does in this
Okay, that's good feedback. That's good.
So I apologize, but I don't know yet whether or not there's anything that I can necessarily leverage at this point. But I do get quite a bit from just learning how people run their business, you know, if they're hands-on and not, if they do it remotely, if there's a sole proprietorship, that kind of thing, and how they balance things not only at home but, you know, within the organization. So I think it's just probably too early for me to speak on that.
Yes, that's good feedback. Okay. What about you, Martha? What did you think about our meeting?
I really enjoy these meetings, but I do think maybe at the beginning we should do an introduction, because I see that this is the second time they say that they don't know what everyone does. So maybe at the beginning, just force everyone to introduce themselves and their business.
Martha, how you do that is when they ask you a question, you also incorporate that as part of your answer. This is where you
Oh, okay.
become very strategic on how you answer the questions. And what I'm trying to do for you guys is, you know, really be more prepared for some of the questions that you're getting, and how you can incorporate that information when you answer. Because, you know, people will ask you a question, how do you let them know what you do as part of the answer? So that's practice right there. All right, Paul, what about you?
By the way, excellent point, Marie. That is really very good. I see why you do that. And it is, I mean, I think that we as professionals need to know how to say powerful things with the least amount of words and yet let people leave you knowing who you are. That's fantastic. I got to practice that.
Okay.
I think, you know what? I think, yeah, it might not be, to Kathy's defense, I think it might not be that we're going to be doing business. Well, Martha I already want her and her partner to do something for us in the near future. Ralph, I was thinking about, you know, him being able to represent someone on paper is huge. I don't think just on resumes, but see where I don't know, just this meeting right now is making me think of Ralph. And Kathy, when I first saw you, you didn't even have to mention uniform, but when you mentioned or laundry, I saw your uniform. And so your presentation's awesome. I could just imagine how that uniform looks on you. It's pressed, looks clean, nice. So, I mean, this is my uniform. I'm always at work with a suit and tie, but you never know with the development of things here. Do you sell like jackets or something, or is it just laundry service? You don't do any?
We're about 70% self-serve. This
Okay.
is about 3,000 square feet. We have 41 washers, 36 dryers, and have a play area and a workstation, nice tables, everything. Trying to make an experience out of it. Doing something you don't like.
Okay, well, wow, now we're finding out a little bit more of what Kathy does, being more specific on, you had me on another, you know, the other point of the axis, but anyway, all right.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things is that because we provide some, you know, laundry services, I do a elderly outreach. I go and get their laundry and come back if they're on my short list. And then others come here for us to do their laundry. And that's the biggest thing now, because a lot of people are used to, you know, the Amazon and getting their phone and clicking, I want this done, I want that done.
Yeah.
And so, you know, doing laundry for people, the regular everyday public is growing like crazy, internationally even.
Which, by the way, you do have an app, right?
You
do have an app?
I have an app through, we have I don't want to take too much time, but we have a laundry card system.
Okay.
And the software allows customers to check on their
Well, maybe you and I have
balance
to,
of their cards and stuff like that.
well, maybe you and I have to have a meeting, because over here, what we're doing, if you have something like that, you know, some type of concierge service that we could add into the retail section of things, that would be fantastic. I don't know if you're up for that. I put my information there and we could get a meeting going.
All
Sounds
right,
great.
Ralph, your turn.
I guess with Kathy, I know a lot of times when I go to the payment, the laundry services here, I see like a lot of advertisements on the walls. So maybe you can advertise my business, you know, somehow, some way, with, you know, with you having so much public views.
Yeah, well, that's interesting you to say that. We have 2 kiosks where the customer can generate a card, add money to their card, see their activity and that kind of stuff. And there are actually advertising opportunities on it. My husband does a little real estate on the side, so I've put ads of, you know, what he's flipping on the screen. And I mean, this place is jam-packed, you know, especially on the weekends. And so the amount of views that you can get, you know, like real cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage. And with Paul, I know you talked about other than resumes. So I did write bios for a real estate agent. So yeah, I'm not just limited to resumes, but that's I do that stuff as favors sometimes, because it's a friend that asked me to write. So, but yes, I do branch out to that kind of writing.
Like, so like for say project descriptions and things like that, and marketing, are you good at that?
I've never done that. I just mainly did bios, so me more on the personal side of things.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Right. I'm curious, Ralph, if you can even do some article writing,
Mhm.
because that's something that is very needed. And I wish you would explore on that area because I need some good writers for articles. All right, Kathy, one thing I can say, Kathy, is that, your biggest, your best asset for advertising is you, because you are awesome. I mean, just from
That's nice of you.
talking to you, I think you got to do some more branding of yourself, and that's how you're going to attract more people to your business. Uh,
Thank you.
branding yourself is the key for getting a lot of connections. Just so you know, Fire Connect does a lot of marketing programs. Like Martha is in a radio talk show for Fire Connect. Paul is in a radio talk show for Real Men and Real Estate. And Ralph is, I haven't done anything yet because he's been busy coaching a lot of basketball games, but he is branding. I mean, he knows how to connect with people because that is outside the area of his expertise, but I mean, his work related to his work, but he's able to connect with so many people for different things like sports. So like myself, I'm connected to the fashion industry. I'm not even a fashion designer. I don't even know how to make clothes, but I am in the fashion industry because of what I did. And I'm also in the healthcare industry. I'm in the real estate industry. And I am in so many business, categories because of my connections. So I have branded myself really well, where I'm able to bring in so many projects that gives me multiple income streams. So, I know that you have a business, Kathy, but think about having multiple income streams because of your connections.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, if you're able to tap into your connection, and there's so many different ways of income stream, you got to position yourself that way, but brand yourself. That is the key. Martha is an amazing, a data analyst that can help skyrocket your business. That's what you're saying, because she knows how to look at all numbers. And Paul has access to the entire city. You're talking about so many great opportunities here. And Ralph is he's in the military. He's connected to the military, and not only that, he's connected to a lot of people that are, have different types of businesses. So you talk about a small group of people with, millions of connections that you can tap into, but you got to have that relationship with them, and really, the collaboration time, spend time on just talking and sharing ideas, and figuring out how can it bring a business to both of you. Because that's how I work. I have my one-on-one meetings, and I find so many great projects that I can make some money from how we communicate and how we create all of these projects. That's how it works. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Fire Up Connect will give you a lot of ideas, because that's how we operate here. We talk about strategies. We're very, very smart in creating strategies. And that's something that you can't find in other networking groups, because we are we're very creative, and we're very intuitive with what we're doing here. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. Please put your contact information and save the chat, because that is good information for all of you. And then next meeting is going to be on Tuesday at 3:00, and we have John Alera from Stairlifts Made Simple. He's going to show his video, and Jennifer is gonna, be the person who's gonna answer any of our questions. So that will be an exciting meeting to be a part of. Bring some of your connections. If you bring them into this meeting and you become a member, people will get to know you more. Kind of like what you experienced, Kathy, by knowing Paul, Martha, and Ralph. You got to know them in 1 hour, right? You feel comfortable that, oh my God, these people, I get to know who they are, because of the questions and answers that we're having here. So it's a good way to really, vet the people that you're connecting with. You always wanted to do due diligence and making connections to people, because that is the number one you wanted to do, is how you can vet them and how you can make sure that they are the right people for your business. Okay. All right. Any last words, Kathy?
Hi. And thank you for inviting me.
All right. Thank you. And
It's a
any
pleasure, Kathy.
last words, Paul, Ralph, Martha?
I like Kathy's artwork on the back over there.
All right.
Oh, my little Barbie doll.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yes, my sister bought me a fashion Barbie doll and I put a Spin Doctor uniform on her.
Wow, because I thought it was like made out of a sculpture of something from here, but
Yes, thank
fantastic.
you.
All right, you guys, I have a 12 o'clock meeting and thank you so much for your time and we'll see you again, okay?
And
Okay.
thanks again.
Don't hesitate to call me if you need any more information.
Everybody be well.
Thank you. All right,
Then
bye-bye.
we'll talk later, Marie.
All right,
Bye-bye.
okay, sounds good.